What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Daniel, and welcome back to the video. Today, we're going to take a look at the entry list for the 2023 Ambetter Health 400 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Let's go ahead and just jump straight into it. We're going to go ahead and start off talk about the one car for Trackhouse Racing. This, of course, being driven by Ross Chastain. Ross Chastain had some contact late in the race at Phoenix Racing, where he ended up finishing 24th after contact from Denny Hamlin. He looks to rebound this weekend and get his first win of the 2023 season at a track he's been generally really good at last year, and I think that Ross Chastain does have a good chance to have a great run this week in Atlanta and might get his first win of the year. Up next, how about the two car for Team Penske? This, of course, being driven by Austin Cindric, 2022 Daytona 500 winner. Austin Cindric has struggled so far in 2023, finding out only one victory so far in the 2023 season. He looks to have a much better weekend here at Atlanta and get back on the momentum, and looks to try to have a really strong run this weekend at Atlanta. Up next, how about the three car for Briscoe Racing? This, of course, being driven by Austin Dillon. Austin Dillon is coming off kind of a not-so-great run at Phoenix, where unfortunately ended up finishing in 16th place. He looks to have a much better run this weekend, and will be looking to bounce back and have a great run here at Atlanta Motor Speedway and potentially get his first win of 2023. Up next, how about the four car for Senhouse Racing? This, of course, being driven by Kevin Harvick. Now, Kevin Harvick, of course, is in his final NASCAR Cup Series season, but he's coming off of a strong run. He nearly won at Phoenix Raceway, had the best car at the end of the race. Unfortunately, caution came out with 10 laps to go for Harrison Burton spinning. That cost Kevin Harvick an opportunity to win. Kevin looks to have a much better run. Well, he had a great run with a top 5 finish. Kevin looks to get his first win of 2023 this weekend at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Up next, how about the 5 car for Hendrick Motorsports? This, of course, being driven by Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson is coming off of two very, very strong performances, a runner finish at Las Vegas, and also a top 5 finish, finishing 4th at Phoenix Raceway. Larson looks to win his first race of 2023 and make sure he's guaranteed in the playoffs. I think Larson does have a really good opportunity and a really good chance to get it done. I think you're going to see Hendrick Motorsports give him a really fast piece, and Larson could get his first win with 2023 this week in Atlanta, though he's not been historically great at super speedway tracks. Up next, how about the 6 car for RFK Racing? This, of course, being driven by Brad Keselowski. Brad Keselowski, while the finishes haven't shown for, Keselowski's had top 5 and top 6 speed pretty much all year long so far. And I think Brad Keselowski is going to continue that really strong speed he's had from the beginning of the year up to this point in race number 5. Keselowski's definitely for sure a playoff contender this year, and we're going to super speedway type racing. I think that's going to help Brad Keselowski this weekend at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Up next, how about the 7 car for Spire Motorsports? This, of course, being driven by Corey LaJoie. Corey LaJoie is coming off of a kind of unfortunate bad finish. The first time I've seen Spire Motorsports struggle, at least on the Corey LaJoie side this season. But we're going to a track where Corey LaJoie has been really good at and nearly won the last time we raced here in July. I think Corey LaJoie is going to have a pretty decent shot to get it done. I think he's an underdog pick for a lot of people this weekend. I think Corey LaJoie could have a really good chance to have a fantastic run this weekend at Atlanta. Up next, how about the 8 car for Churchill Racing? This, of course, being driven by Kyle Busch. Now, Kyle Busch was already locked in the playoffs after winning at Auto Club, but Kyle Busch looks to get his second win of the 2023 season in race number 5. Kyle Busch didn't have as great of a run at Phoenix, so he did have a couple penalties and he still bounced back to finish in the top 10. I think Kyle Busch will definitely be a factor for sure by the end of the race, and I think he's going to have a really good chance and opportunity to have a fantastic run in the number 8 car this weekend at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Up next, how about the 9 car for Hendrick Motorsports? This week, it'll be driven by Josh Berry once again, who continues to substitute for Chase Elliott, who's currently out with a fractured left tibia. Josh Berry had a very solid performance at Phoenix, ran top 15 all day, ended up finishing in the top 10 in 10th place, getting his first top 10 of his NASCAR Cup Series career. Josh Berry, the more experience you give him, I think the better he's going to be. And I expect Berry to continue to get better as time goes on and continue to improve. And he will, in my opinion, do a good job substituting for Chase Elliott as Chase Elliott continues to recover. Up next, how about 10 car for Senhouse Racing? This, of course, being driven by Aric Almirola. Aric Almirola is coming off of a very unfortunate race where he ended up finishing, I believe, 32nd or 33rd in the race. Just no speed and no performance out of that 10 car, and he has struggled so far in 2023. He looks to rebound in the type of track where it was really fast, where he won a dual race earlier this year, and looks to rebound this weekend here at Atlanta Motor Speedway with the 10 team. Up next, how about the 11 car for Joe Gibbs Racing? This, of course, being driven by Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin's coming off, unfortunately, getting into it with Ross Chastain at the end of the NASCAR Cup Series race at Phoenix Raceway. So he's looking to get out of that weekend and basically rejuvenate and try to have a fantastic run by trying to get his first win of 2023. Denny Hamlin's been fast at Atlanta in the past. He's come close to winning Atlanta. I think, in fact, he has won Atlanta in the past. I'm not entirely sure, but I expect Denny Hamlin is going to be pretty quick this weekend here at Atlanta. Up next, how about the 12th car for Team Penske? This course being driven by Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney's coming off a runner-up finish at Phoenix International Race, but he's come very close to winning at Phoenix over the last 2 years. I think the Team Penske is going to give him a very fast car this weekend, and I think Ryan Blaney for sure is going to be a threat to win this weekend at Atlanta Motor Speedway and get Ford's first win of 2023 and end the Chevy dominance. I think Blaney's going to be fast. He's one to watch this weekend at Atlanta. Up next, how about the 14 car for Stewart-Haas Racing? This course being driven by Chase Briscoe. Chase Briscoe got his first top 10 of the 2023 season this past weekend in Phoenix. It's been really a struggling start to the 2023 season for the number 14 team and everyone at Stewart-Haas outside of Kevin Harvick. I think Briscoe, though, is going to continue to turn the season around, continue to turn a corner, and I think Briscoe could be a factor this week in Atlanta if Stewart-Haas Racing gets in the good enough pace to be up front. Up next, how about the 15 car for Rick Ware Racing? This once again is being driven by J.J. Yeley. J.J. Yeley did not race this past weekend at Phoenix Raceway, but he's back in the car. Of course, he'll drive for Finish Line Motorsports for a couple weeks, starting at Talladega in a few weeks. J.J. Yeley's a driver who's very serviceable. He's been kind of around the top 30 pace when he's been in the car this year, so I expect him to continue to be as fast as he's been in the number 15 car, and I think he'll do a solid job with the Rick Ware team this weekend. Up next, how about the 16 car for Kellogg Racing? This course being driven by AJ Allmendinger. AJ Allmendinger unfortunately had some issues at the end of the race at Phoenix. It just doesn't seem like AJ is a driver right now that I think can make the playoffs currently at the moment, except at the road courses right now. But I think AJ will turn the season around and turn a corner, and he might have an opportunity to do that this upcoming weekend at Atlanta Motor Speedway. But we'll see what he can do this weekend. Up next, how about the 17 car for RFK? This, of course, being driven by Chris Buescher. Chris Buescher's coming off of a top 15 finish. He had top 10 pace at Phoenix Raceway and looks to rebound and get his first win of 2023. We saw how fast him and Brad Keselowski were at Daytona, and I expect if you were fast at Daytona, you're probably going to be really, really fast at Atlanta. Though Atlanta is a little bit more different than Daytona, but it still is technically a super speedway-esque track. I think Chris Buescher's got a good chance to be up front and be somewhat of a contender this weekend at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Up next, how about the 19 car for Joe Gibbs Racing? This, of course, being driven by Martin Truex Jr. Martin Truex Jr. had a very disappointing run at Phoenix, where he's basically a 19th to 20th place car pretty much all day long and had no pace and no speed. Martin Truex Jr. has been really up and down. He's had some good runs this year and some not so good runs this year, and I need to see Martin Truex Jr. really turn the corner around if he's going to want to have an opportunity to make the playoffs. And I'm not sure how he's going to do it at a track like Atlanta, which is super speedway-esque track, where Martin Truex Jr.'s luck at super speedway types of tracks has not been very good throughout his career. We'll see what Martin Truex Jr. can do, and hopefully he can improve this weekend here at Atlanta. Up next, how about the 20 car for Joe Gibbs Racing? This course being driven by Christopher Bell. Christopher Bell's coming off of a top 10 finish with a 6th place run at Phoenix Raceway. Christopher Bell has been very solid to start 2023. In fact, he's at 3 top 10 finishes. He started the year off way better than he started 2022, though he ended the year way better. So we'll see if he continues the strong start that he's had for 2023 and continues it this weekend at Atlanta Motor Speedway. We'll see what he can do. Up next, how about the 21 car for the Wood Brothers? This, of course, being driven by Harrison Burton. Now, Harrison Burton has really kind of been at an up and down start to 2023. He's had some decent runs and some bad runs like Phoenix last week. Harrison Burton really needs to turn the corner around. He's already basically in a must-win situation, and we're only 4 races in, so he really needs to turn the season around very quickly. He's been solid in super speedway tracks in the past, and I think that could help him this weekend at Atlanta. Up next, how about the 22 car for Team Penske? This course being driven by Joey Logano. Joey Logano has had a struggling last couple weeks. Ran terrible in Vegas, crashed out, finished last, and basically ran outside the top 15 most day and still salvaged an 11th place finish at Phoenix. Logano's going to have to turn this weekend around and run much better than he has as of recently, but luckily he's at a super speedway-esque track that could help him this weekend at Atlanta. Up next, how about the 23 car for 2311 Racing? This course being driven by Bubba Wallace. Bubba Wallace is coming off a top 15 finish with a 14th place at Phoenix Raceway, and Bubba Wallace just seems like right now that car seems a lot faster in the beginning of the year than they have been in the past, which I think is going to help Bubba Wallace have an opportunity who make the playoffs this year. They seem a lot faster. And remember the last time we were here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, he was pretty quick as well and led quite a few laps. I think Bubba Wallace is going to be a contender and be a factor for the overall victory and might get his first win of 2023 this weekend at Atlanta. Up next, how about the 24 car for Hendrick Motorsports? This, of course, being driven by William Byron. William Byron is coming off of back-to-back finishes, so he's trying to become the first driver in the next-gen history of the car, in the 2-year history of this car, become the first driver to have 3 straight Cup Series victories in a row in the next-gen era. William Byron's going to be really fast. He won the spring race last year, so I think that could help him out going this weekend. I think William Byron's going to have a chance to have a great run, and I think he'll for sure be a factor to get his 3rd win in a row. Up next, how about the 31 car for Kaulig Racing? This, of course, being driven by Justin Haley. Justin Haley is going to run the Xfinity Series race as well in the number 10 for Kaulig Racing, but back to focusing on the Cup Series. Justin Haley's had an up-and-down start to 2023. He's had some decent runs, got a top 10 at Vegas. He's had some top 15, top 20 speed, but Justin Haley's also at points struggled, which I think could hurt Justin Haley in the long run. But with him running the Xfinity Series race, that might help him out and make him somewhat of a contender this weekend at Atlanta. Up next, how about the 34 car for Front Row Motorsports? This, of course, being driven by Michael McDowell. Now, Michael McDowell is coming off very solid top 15 finish at Phoenix Raceway, which is surprising considering Front Row has not always been the greatest at Phoenix. Michael McDowell is going to type of track where he's been very, very good in the past, and I think that we could see a strong run for Front Row this weekend. We'll have to see what Michael McDowell can do, but I could see Michael McDowell having a good run this weekend at Atlanta. Up next, how about the 38 car for Front Row Motorsports? This, of course, being driven by Todd Gillen, who's back in the 38 car this weekend after going to the 15 last week at Phoenix. Todd Gillen, in my opinion, is someone that might be an underdog for this weekend just because how fast he was at Daytona. And like I said, Atlanta is very similar to Daytona nowadays, so I think that really could play a factor in helping out a driver like Todd Gillen this weekend. Front Row, I think, has improved their equipment as well, and I think that Todd Gillen could have a good run this weekend at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Up next, how about the number 41 car for Stewart-Haas Racing? This, of course, is being driven by Ryan Preece. Ryan Preece got his best finish of the year so far in 2023, and it was a 16th place. It's been a struggling start to the 2023 season. Ryan Preece really has to continue turning a corner. He needs to start running about top 10 speed going forward if he wants to have a chance to make the playoffs. He's like 30th in the points right now. It's just not been a good year for that 41 team. Hopefully the 6th place run they just had recently can really help him out, and he can have a good run this weekend at Atlanta. Up next, how about the 42 car for Legacy Motor Club? This, of course, being driven by Noah Grayson. Noah Grayson's had kind of a slow start to 2023. But I think Noah Grayson, as the year goes on, I think he's going to continue to improve. But I'm not sure going to Atlanta if I can say that he's got a shot to do that. I don't know Noah Grayson is going to be aggressive, and you're going to have to be aggressive at these super speedway tracks. But I don't know if Noah Grayson is going to be that aggressive to be up front and contending for the win. Up next, how about the 43 car for Legacy Motor Club? This is being driven by Erik Jones. Erik Jones has been surprisingly a little bit off compared to last year. You look at the speed he had last year at the beginning of the year, he was really strong. Erik Jones just hasn't had the overall pace or speed to contend for wins so far in 2023, which, like I said, is very surprising. But I think Erik Jones still got a long way to go. He's still got 22 weeks till the regular season is over, and I think Erik Jones could have a good run this weekend at Atlanta. Up next, how about the 45 car for 23XI Racing? This, of course, being driven by Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick's coming off of a very, very fantastic run this past weekend in Phoenix, where he ended up finishing in the 3rd position on the podium. Also, he'll have a new sponsor this weekend with Xfinity sponsoring him for the Cup race at Atlanta Motor Speedway. I think he's going to have a lot of momentum. He seemed like he was a little bit unhappy that he didn't get the win, but Tyler Reddick should be happy with a top 3 finish. He struggled at the beginning of the year, but it seems like he's starting to turn the corner and run better as the year continues to impress, and I think he's got a chance to continue to do that. Up next, how about the 47 car for JTG Daugherty Racing? This is being driven, of course, by 2023 Daytona 500 winner, Ricky Senhouse Jr. Ricky Senhouse Jr. currently sits 15th in the points, and let's be honest, Stenhouse, outside of his win and maybe a really strong run at Auto Club, Stenhouse has been very quiet and has not run up front consistently. Stenhouse is going to have to rely on having a 15th place average finish, and right now JTG Daugherty just continues to be falling farther and farther back, and with the amount of winners we could get by the end of the year, that's one thing you're going to have to watch and see. But Stenhouse is struggling a little bit right now, but he needs to have a good run. Luckily, we're going to Super Speedway Ash Track, and maybe he gets a 2nd win of the year. Up next, how about the 48 car for Hendrick Motorsports? This course being driven by Alex Bowman. Alex Bowman coming into this weekend in Atlanta has something that no one else does. He's finished in the top 10 in all 4 races so far. He's the only driver with that, and he is currently the points leader in the NASCAR Cup Series at the moment. He's been extremely consistent and has been up front. Alex Bowman looks to get his 5th straight top 10 finish this weekend, and I think he could have a very fantastic run in that number 48 car. I think he's going to for sure be a factor for the victory this weekend at Atlanta. Up next, how about the 51 car for Rick Ware Racing? This course being driven by Cody Wares. Cody Wares had a better start to 2023 than he started last year. His average finishes seemed a little bit better, but also at times, I still think Rick Ware Racing is kind of near the back of the field, and they've still got a lot of things that they're going to have to work on if they're going to be factors going forward. Hopefully, they maybe in the future can do the trick, and maybe they'll be the underdog pick that could have a good run. We'll see what happens, though. Up next, how about the 54 car for Joe Gibbs Racing? This course being driven by Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs coming off very disappointing finish. I think he finished, 28th at Phoenix. It's just not been a good year for the rookie year for Ty Gibbs, but he's a rookie, so it's expected. What isn't expected is the fact that Ty Gibbs, I thought, would do a little bit better. But Ty Gibbs, like I said, is a rookie, so I think it's going to take time for him to improve. Hoping maybe this week in Atlanta, he'll get better. I think by the end of the year, Ty Gibbs will be a regular contender for top 10s and maybe top 5s, but right now, he is struggling a little bit. Up next, how about a 77 car for Spire Motorsports? This course being driven by Todd Gillen. Todd Gillen has struggled all year long. His best finish was this past weekend in Phoenix, 30th. He's been bad all year. Todd Gillen has struggled. They're not putting any performance in that 77 car. Hell, I think at times even Josh Blicky ran better than what we've seen from Todd Gillen. I just think right now if I'm the 77 team, I'm selling the charter at the end of the year and giving it to a team maybe like Rick RCR Junior Motorsports, because in my opinion, we have seen so many struggles from that 77 this year. It's just been really frustrating to watch. Up next, how about the 78 car for Live Fast Motorsports? This once again being driven by BJ McLeod. This will be the last time McLeod is in the car, at least for a few weeks, if I'm not mistaken. BJ McLeod looks to have a good ending to his run he's had for the last 2 weeks. We'll see what BJ McLeod can do in the number 78 car. Maybe he can have a good run. Maybe he won't. Who knows? We're at a Super Speedway S track, so hopefully that will help BJ McLeod this weekend here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Hopefully it will help. And finally, driving the 99 car for Trackhouse Racing is Daniel Suarez. Daniel Suarez coming off finishing, I believe, in 23rd position at Phoenix. It's a shame. He really wasn't that great to begin with. That's the worst I've seen Daniel Suarez perform all year long so far. Hopefully, this week in Atlanta, he can definitely turn the corner, because I think he's definitely been better to start 2023 than he started 2022 for sure. Trackhouse just didn't completely have the pace and speed that teams like Hendrick had, and even maybe Kevin Harvick had, but we'll see what they can do this weekend at Atlanta. So anyways, that is going to be it for the starting line, the entry list video for the 2023 Ambetter Health 400. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe to the channel, notifications on so you know if I win a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Links description below over that, and comment your thoughts below on today's entry list. What are your thoughts about the entry list for this race at Atlanta? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. There could be as many as 2 more videos on the channel later today. We might talk about the Hendrick Motorsports report on that penalty. Probably out on that on Wednesday as well. And we also will have the NASCAR Xfinity Series race picks on the channel as well here later today. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for some more great awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.